everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. It is July 6th, 2025, and the time is 2:39 p.m. Let us go ahead and tap in and see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us. Thanks for being here, everybody. Storyline for the collective, please, Spirit. Storyline for the collective. In the central energy, we've got the Emperor here in the central energy. Reliability and the ability to work hard. This is a leader who's been through it. In the challenge position, we've got the Eight of Cups. This is absolute decisions. And leaving something behind. So it sounds like the final decisions are being made. The absolute decisions are being made in the subconscious. We've got the Three of Cups. The first stages of completion. And a celebration for the community. In the recent past, the Two of Cups, a marriage, a settling of the energy. Intentions and expectations is the Moon. So this union brings some sort of anxiety. Perhaps it is hidden. Nobody's able to really spy on it. In the near future, the Ten of Cups, a divine love, total love and support, a dream come true, the ultimate completion. In the near future. So in the subconscious, he's thinking about the first stages of completion, and in the near future, it will be the ultimate completion. Endings and new beginnings. For divine love. The lens that's being looked through. Conflict. bunch of exaggeration. There's a lot of tension going on, some disagreements. We got folks testifying against all of them. There's a feminine apparently who is testifying against a group of masculines. In the environment, in the environment we have the Eight of Wands. So something is manifesting quickly. There's a swift change here. Absolute decisions. So this is the first stage of completion, the ultimate completion, and absolute decisions happening very quickly regarding this conflict. Somebody's out there revving their engine, going real fast. It could be, I don't know if you heard that. It could be that there's somebody racing to get the heck out of Dodge. They might be wanting to get out of town. Rapid action. They may be racing to get out of town. Hopes and fears. The Devil. And the outcome is the Star. I need to get my marker. The Star. A rejuvenation, a rebirth. There's quick decisions being made. We've got Ace of Cups here. So Ace of Cups, there's proposals in marriage. There could be a new baby in the near future. This is love, alpha love. It's the top of the line love. Making plans to leave home, making travel plans. Still seeking truth. Doing some research still, and disconnecting. Oh, it's in the deck reverse. Disconnecting those who were all about home conflict and conflict with others. It could be that that's what they're going to receive. You've got love. You're making plans to leave home. You're still doing some research, and there's still some disconnections happening for those who were all about home conflict. They did not celebrate the harmonious union of their home, their marriage, or their community. So they're getting kicked out. There's transience here. You're doing some research here, shining a light, and you're disconnecting certain folks out of the foundation still, like they're being removed from the community. Based in the truth. There is a victorious thing here, or the truth of the matter is bringing public recognition to this circumstance. You're working very hard. The Temperance Angel is working very hard. Earth Angel, bringing balance. And harmony, finding meaning. Shining a light, finding meaning on what's going on here with the star energy there, persevering and getting sustainable results. You're making a good investment here. So you're exposing the secrets. You're working real hard. There was an investigation happening here with the Hermit card. So the Temperance Angels could be investigating and researching and disconnecting those who were all about conflict within the marriage or the home of their own and of others. They're in a nightmare here. They're in a nightmare. They're feeling hopeless and in despair over it. Judgment Day is here. So the Emperor is here. With the High Priestess. Married. Two of Cups, marriage here in the recent past. Ten of Cups, union here in the near future. So the challenge is leaving stuff behind, leaving something behind, leaving this conflict behind, withdrawing, abandoning it, walking away from conflict, walking away from the clashing of petty ego. Making absolute decisions over who's being abandoned, released, let go. There's a Three of Cups here, the community, thinking about the community, thinking about the happiness of the community. We've got the Tower in the reverse, happiness in the community. You have averted a disaster for humanity is what I think, because you've got this Devil here. So there's a celebration and happiness within the community because you have averted a disaster. Or because of the collapse of this system that was. There's a celebration due to the collapse of this, whatever this conflict warring system is. So the Two of Cups is here. Marriage, unified love. It's a mutual attraction. It's a settling of the energy. Balanced love. And then we've got you're in the boat there, getting off. You're moving on. You're leaving behind this baggage. Moving on to calmer waters. Leaving behind the conflict. We've got the Moon here. Well, that came out and it came out in the upright, but then it flipped kind of in the reverse. So this is the Seven of Wands in the reverse. Somebody is in fear. So you're married and you're leaving it. You're leaving this baggage behind, which is the expectation is that somebody is having fear and anxiety over their failure. You're leaving everybody in a state of fear. They're exhausted. Their confidence is destroyed. They have failed. Everything that they had and knew is in collapse. Divine love is here. Ten of Cups, unions, total love and support. Page of Wands. Limitless potential. So much that you can do. You've got a free spirit. You're free from this devil. You're embarking on something new. There's limitless potential. Where do you start? You just start. Excitement and freedom for divine love, for Ten of Cups unions. There's competition here, conflict, tension. There's some tension and sacrifice. Those who are bringing conflict and tension, those who are bringing instability to the foundation, it looks like they're getting let go. And there's quick decisions being made here with the Eight of Wands in the environment. Quick decisions being made for the Seven of Swords. Something's happening very swiftly. We've got trickery and fraud here. It could be that something's going to happen very swiftly for those who are betraying and stealing. These are absolute decisions are being made regarding those who were strategically committing fraud. They're the codependent devil. They're afraid of the devil and the sun. We've got the codependent devil. So they're codependent on the sun, but they've been brutalizing everyone. So there is a healing, a rejuvenation with the star energy here. Knight of Wands. So we've got a Knight of Wands who's sexy and charming, and we have a Page of Cups reversed. So Mr. Sexy and Charming is frustrated and disappointed. Mr. Sexy and Charming is frustrated and disappointed, feeling very insecure, emotional, immature. You've got rejuvenation here. And Mr. Charming is feeling insecure. You're in your purpose. You're successful. There's a new beginning here, a rebirth. And we've got the World card here. So this is a completion of a cycle. This is a completion of a cycle of the memories of the past. It's over. So whatever was happening in the history of this, it's over. And you've got public recognition here and a victory with the Six of Wands. There's heartfelt proposals coming in and an end of your Ten of Wands burden. The end is in sight. This is a completion again, and you are very, very strong here. Yeah. There's a team who is now overseeing the Two of Cups unions with Temperance angels. Now, this was the other day, like marriages are, they're like, in the history, apparently, marriages were consummated with an audience to make certain that it actually is legitimate. So there's a group of people overseeing the Two of Cups unions of the Earth Angelics to make sure that they're not getting set up, stuck with, bamboozled. You know, that there's not just a magical agreement, that it's actually something that requires participation and it will be held as law. You can't just magically, manipulate somebody into signing a document in the spiritual realms and then call it official. It wasn't, because those kinds of things aren't willful and for one party. And now this way they have to actually prove their legitimacy. There's information coming in with the Page of Pentacles here. A welcome new beginning in a job, in your finances, some kind of skill development, a new financial opportunity here. And in the Ace of Cups, love, compassion, proposal, and marriage is for the Empress, the Divine Mother. And I say this, you know, in all of her aspects. Divine Feminine. It could be that there's a Queen of Pentacles here who is now suffering a financial loss with the Five of Pentacles for causing the illusions around love. Like they're getting cut out and the wheel is turning on them. This is a painful ending, and you know, they're going through it because they're on the foundation, whatever this foundation is. This 10 now belongs to the 10 of Cups. Now divine belongs to the 10 of Cups unions, and the Queen of Wands is overseeing this or watching it, or this is her stop. She's weighing options. She's managing, holding balance here, and around this inheritance. Somebody is in a freaking nightmare and in despair here because something's happening. Yeah, the stars, those who hold the life within them and rejuvenate and heal things very quickly. There is air travel, and we've got the Chariot here. They've got a victory. They're going on a journey, and it's a wish come true. They're taking all of the 9 cups with them for persevering here. The Most High God has rewarded them for overcoming their challenges and remaining loyal to the truth. You've still got a Knight of Swords wanting to come in and defend their beliefs. They want to say, hey, you know, about the things that they were doing on a routine. But you've got this new beginning with the King of Swords based in truth and Queen of Cups, Emperor. This is a traditional, very disciplined foundation, and we're not going to be messing around anymore. You're going to take love seriously. And those people, there's some people here that are wanting forgiveness or because they got to move on. They've been kicked out. They got to get out. They can't stay here. There's difficult decision being made. They could be at a crossroads. This is death. This is over. It's completion. It's over. You know, they're still hoping to create some kind of a 3D catastrophe that will flip this back. I don't know. They've been warned, though. They've been warned about messing around here. But it's not stopping them. Nine of Pentacles. You're going into a life of luxury with a 9 of Cups wealth. You're celebrating your accomplishments. And we got a Knight of Pentacles who's very protective over this 3 of Wands success. So this journey, there's a guard here. So everything, the borders are guarded. The lands are guarded. If anything attempts to come up over the water, they're right there looking at it, ready to defend it. So the borders are up. There's boundaries. And it's time for rest, for healing, for the King of Wands. He's been fighting real hard. Natural and loyal leader. There's joy and success here with the Sun. So there's rebirth. The Sun's here too. All is well. All is well. We've got a Knight of Wands here who's, Prince Charming. He's feeling trapped and isolated, feeling like a victim because the High Priestess has the wealth and gives it to whomever, needs it or deserves it, I guess. And the Hierophant is right here too, making plans, giving out new jobs. New jobs. Ace of Pentacles. To manifest something here in this realm. And there is a celebration here because it's a new job. So some people get a new job. They've qualified. And the Devil is here, stuck in the middle. They're in a freaking crossroads, feeling trapped. And they're under judgment. Oh, I got carried away, didn't I? Yeah, this is a turning point. The wheel is turning. Justice is here, and you've got a victory for the Queen of Cups, Star, 10 of Cups, Unions. Oh, this is wonderful. Now, let me just pull some of these cards. I got carried away. My apologies. Tell the story. The Emperor is here with the High Priestess. King of Swords, mental clarity. The sword is up. There is protection here. Leaving behind conflict is the challenge. And the truth. So you're leaving folks behind who are bringing conflict, those who were with rival, because you know the truth. You're wielding the sword. And there's a community celebration here because all of that stuff that was going on regarding this conflict is collapsing. It's collapsing. And we've got 2 of Swords. People, there's tough decisions being made. Some people were blind to the truth. They're stuck in the middle. They could be at a crossroads. Everything is collapsing. Everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? They didn't realize the truth. They didn't see the truth. They didn't take the time to understand what they were doing. I don't know. But we've got the 2 of Cups marriage connection here. They're releasing the baggage and they're moving on. They're battle ready, standing up for themselves, but they're taking the high ground. So they're moving on. They're taking the high ground. They're leaving this conflict behind. They're elevating. They're going to a higher dimensional realm. Where these ones can no longer reach them. There's fear and anxiety over this failure. People are exhausted. Their confidence has been destroyed. Wherever you're going is hidden. There's a Page of Cups here. A lack of confidence. Overwhelm. We've got a Page of Cups who is trying to fight with the Emperor. That's sad. 10 of Cups, divine love. Total love and support here. Excitement and freedom. You're a free spirit. You're starting something new. We've got direct action with the Knight of Swords here. Somebody's being assertive. The competition or the rivalry, those who are bringing conflict, we've got release. They're being released, sacrificed, let go. They're letting go. They have to let go. They're being let go out of the generosity of the High Priestess. They have to let go. They're being released. They're being sacrificed out of the energy for bringing conflict here. So they're no longer getting any wealth. They were talking about the trust funds. Like they've been pulling off of this High Priestess's funds, her spiritual trust funds that is connected to the Most High Divine. And they've been messing with her life bad. There's quick decisions being made on these fraudulent people. They got to cancel their party. 4 of Wands in the reverse. They're getting separated. They can't be in the energy anymore. They're not going to receive any generosity or any services. The Devil is here, codependent on the Sun. But they're getting separated out for being a fraud, for being a thief. The sun is bringing them, oh, they're receiving, so they've been utterly defeated by the sun. The devil is here, utterly defeated by the sun. They have no light in them, they lost their way, and they have no control. The devil has gotten played by the sun. They're in utter defeat. They lost their way. They have no light in them. They lost control. They're aggressive. The star is here with rejuvenation, and somebody's feeling emotionally disappointed. They're very irresponsible and immature, and they're still trying to come in being charming. So there could be some Knight of Wands coming in to be charming. They're really upset over your rejuvenation. They're going to be met with fire. This is a new beginning. New beginning. So Prince Charming is frustrated over your new beginning. You're rejuvenated, your light is here, and you've got a Prince Charming here. Mr. Passionate wants to come in and be irresponsible. They're very frustrated by your new beginning, by your new adventure, new journeys. And these are hidden new journeys. But there could also be a page here trying to cast illusions over this new beginning with fantasies and illusions. Yeah, they want to cast illusions. So you've got a page here doing witchcraft. It could be that this Knight of Wands is helping them because they're greedy, man. They want this freaking Four of Pentacles. They're greedy. They're hoarding. They want to control you. They want to control your future. They want to continue bringing chaos and confusion to your future with magic. But there's celebration here for the Queen of Swords. You know the truth of it. There is a Page of Pentacles. There's potentiality here with the Ace of Pentacles. So there's potentiality to make money, but it's being overseen by the Hierophant. All this romance, all of these stuff is being overseen by the Most High God himself. If you're going to create a contract with somebody, you're going to have to consummate it in public. You're going to have to verify that it's really what you want. It's going to have to be in and under and approved of by God. No more of this man-made contractual bullshit that they got going on. This scam, this scheme that they got going on with marriages and such. And what do they call that? Constituents, or whatever they call that when you have a big church and you got all these people that are part of your people, you know, signing there, giving them your money. I mean, this is like a contractual agreement for profit. If anybody's part of it, it's like a cult, you know, they own, they possess, they feel they have the right and the privilege to pull off of other people. But those who were stealing and thieving and scamming and cheating, they're being abandoned. They have failed and they got to go find a new path. 8 of Cups, yep. And they're feeling overwhelmed. There's too many tasks. There's a lot of work to do with this 10 of Wands. And there's death here. There's death here. We've got the abundance of the Empress here is bringing a tower to somebody. They're in sudden upheaval. And now everybody's in love. Everybody's in love. Huh. Yeah. But we've got the 2 of Pentacles here. Whoever's was working against you to cause heartbreak, trauma, and grief is under judgment and receiving justice. Yeah. And the devil is here in a freaking 5 of Cups disappointment. because you are in a Six of Swords energy. You're leaving, you're moving on from this trauma, and the wheel has turned. Again, for the Queen of Cups, victory and triumph for the loving mother or the loving divine feminine in this, and this is a happy ending. You got a Ten of Cups here for this passionate, the passionate mother figure who is rejuvenated. They're the light. So somebody's in a freaking nightmare because there's some sacrifices going on. And very quickly, we've got this Queen of Pentacles completing the cycle. Take it as it resonates. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. So the Emperor is here with the High Priestess, and they are in the King of Swords energy, or there could be a King of Swords guarding them. We've got blame. Could be in a very logical. So the Emperor and the High Priestess have mental clarity over those who were blaming others. They know where the blame goes. They know who did what, when, how, and why. They're the authority. Those who were trying to blame innocent people have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. There is the truth here. The challenge is to leave behind those who were bringing conflict, tension, petty ego. You know the truth of it. So yeah, you know the truth. To discover the truth about them and then leave them behind. They're afraid here. They're worried. Because you know the truth of what is happening here, what they've done. They can't hide it. There's a celebration within the community because all of this shady business is collapsing. They're stuck in the middle. They've got some tough decisions to make. They could be at a crossroads. They're blind to the truth. They were trying to blame others when it should have been them accepting responsibility for their own nastiness. Empathy. You can see both sides of the story. Whether they're choosing to be honest or not, you can see the truth of it. Two of Cups marriage here is leaving behind the baggage, taking the high ground. They can't reach you anymore. Patience. Everything happens in divine order. So there's fear and anxiety here. Somebody has given up. Their confidence is destroyed. They're feeling overwhelmed. They failed. There's a crush here. They failed to be seen as a happy crush. There's no confidence for the page who is using this methodology of this devil methodology of getting into bed with somebody so they can make a profit. Their confidence is destroyed. They don't know what to do. They're untrustworthy. You can't trust the Page of Cups. You can't trust the crush. Can't trust the crush. You got a Ten of Cups, divine love here. Total love and support. We've got excitement about freedom with the Page of Wands. We've got the Knight of Swords here. There's a Knight of Swords here is taking direct action, being assertive. So you're a free spirit. You've got limitless potential. You're here with this divine love. You're ready to go, but you've got this Knight of Swords here, envious about it, wants to come in and fight still. So this, if they bring conflict, there's a sacrifice here. They're getting cut out of the High Priestess's energy and any charity or generosity that she might have shared with them. They have failed. They will fail. Very swiftly, the Seven of Swords, trickery and fraudster is getting separated out of the Four of Wands union. They got to cancel their party. They won't have a community any longer. There's no reason for them to celebrate. There's no reason for them to celebrate. They don't get to go home. They're not going to have any marriages. And they have to accept the things that they cannot change. The devil is here wanting to fight with the sun, and they're getting an utter defeat. They don't have any control. They're being very aggressive. They've lost their way. They're a misfit. Codependent on the sun beings, the star beings. We've got indecision in the reverse. They've lost their way. This says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. They're disconnected from their intuition. So there is no indecision regarding them being separated out in this Four of Wands reversed energy. The star is here. And there is a Prince Charming who's very disappointed over your new beginning. They might be behaving a little unpredictably. Yeah, they're disappointed. They're in a bad way. They're feeling real insecure. They're disappointed. They're frustrated. They're experiencing some emotional immaturity. They could be having some outbursts. They're really upset over your new abundant beginning. You can manifest whatever you want in this world. You're a limitless being. They're upset that you are free. They're upset that you are free, and they have to surrender their need to control you. You're an honest person, even when everybody around you is lying. The Most High Divine can see this, and you are in your purpose. You're here for a purpose. And these prideful people got all messed up with your happiness. They decided to try to destroy your happiness. They were unable to do that. You persevered through it. You're a being of love. You know that there's no greater goal than to love. You're releasing any of these beings that no longer assist in your soul's growth. Those who are guilty of bringing adversity to you and your peace. It's like you're a being of love, and these ones are just the complete freaking opposite, and they're under judgment for making you doubt love. It's like there seemed to be no love in the entire world except for what existed within you, and that is just not okay. You got gratitude here and gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. So you're receiving a forgiveness, or it could be that those who left you alone are seeking forgiveness, but they're being denied. And they're in grief about it because you honor your physical vessel, and they tried to destroy your flesh temple, your mind, your everything. And now they're in regret because there's a change here. And balance is here. You bring a state of perfect harmony into the world. You know what a friend is here for. You're very courageous. You've grown in consciousness and awareness by focusing on the lighter side of life. They tried to destroy you. They didn't want that. They wanted complete and utter chaos. But we're moving into a time of disciplined relationships that serve the higher good and actually accomplish what they set their mind to. They're here for a purpose. They're here to unite and create together. And these ones just wanted to F all day and party and sleep all day and party all night. And they had no goals, no purpose, no nothing except to brutalize people and delay their future, their purpose, strip them of their opportunities that were granted to them by the Most High. So there's a death here. They're not able to get into the imagination of beings of service. So these ones can no longer tap into the mind of beings that are here as a service provider. Decent beings that are here as messengers of God, you know, to share whatever downloads they receive from the Most High into the world so that they could live, you know, a life that is not full of debauchery like these ones have been doing. And it could also be those who are toying with your mind are receiving death, and they won't be receiving any of your services anymore. Like they're cut out. They're cut out for playing this stupid game. You don't have to serve people who tried to unalive you. You don't have to support their evil behaviors and their hatred. You're not required to do that. You're not required to share the good in you in exchange for the rottenness of them. You don't have to. It's not worthy. It's not a worthy trade. The Emperor is here with the High Priestess. They're very high. They're connected to the mysteries of the all that is. They're connected in the King of Swords energy, or there's a King of Swords here who has authority over those who are trying to blame them for whatever it was they were doing. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. You've got a King of Swords here that's going to enforce it. Yeah. We've got Starseed. They were trying to blame the Starseed. And the King of Swords has clarity over that, and they're going to have to accept responsibility for their own damn well-being. See, this narcissist wanted to be an influencer through trauma bonding. He wanted to, you know, command it. And the only people that were ever allowed to talk were those that did as he said and not as he did, you know? But you're out here as a starseed, High Priestess, Emperor, and you're just talking your truth, and it's the Ace of Swords truth about who is bringing conflict to you. So the challenge is to leave them behind, to find out who they are, and to, you know, these conflict, these people who thought that brutalizing an innocent person who had no idea of who they were was somehow a competition. You have the truth about it, and they're in fear, and they're worried. Oh, they're worried because you're telling them to go ahead and get effed. You're not, you know, helping them at all. You don't want to have anything to do with them. You recognize that there's no value there. You're not going to support it. Your energy is too valuable to dump into this system of strife and fear and codependency. There's a celebration in the community because all of the past is disintegrating. It's collapsing. They're at a stalemate. They're stuck in the middle. They're blind to the truth, but you have empathy. You see both sides of the situation very clearly. And you're getting your land back. You're getting your land back. They're thieves. They stole it. They had false contracts and then did away with the one they contracted with so that they could claim ownership over their stuff. They were using that, you know, contract and then replace methodology or whatever, you know. So anyway, but you got a Two of Cups here, marriage connection. You're leaving behind the baggage. You're taking the high route. You're standing up there on the top of that hill. You know that everything happens in divine order, and these ones, they can't reach you. They can't reach you. They're being told to stay in their own lane. You're ready. If they try to come up there, they're getting whacked in the head hard, and they're going to be knocked all the way down to the bottom of that hill. Look at them with their little cuss words and everything. They're so mad at you. They're so damn mad at you because they can't get up there. They can't get there. Oh, they want to. They'll threaten it. They're going to be mad. They're going to be spewing all kinds of bull crap out into the world, as they always do. They're a narcissist. They project everything. The other day, somebody was trying to project debauchery onto somebody in the collective, and they were told that the debauchery resides in them, that they are the ones having sex with a 5-year-old. And this is what you got. These judges or whoever it is trying to cast condemnation on others, are the actual ones doing the crime, you know, that they're projecting out into the world. It's sad and it's disgusting. We've got somebody in fear. Somebody's in fear. They're in fear. They could be in fear because they don't know where you're at. They don't know how to get there. Whatever you're doing is a mystery. They have failed. You can't trust the happy news, the happy crush, or the interest in spirituality that's coming forth from pages right now. They're disconnected from their intuition. The page doesn't have confidence anymore. They know that you don't trust them. They know what this plan is, with this, you know, this relationship freaking thing that they've had running around here with contracts and agreements and such. Look, black hole, you're not dealing with this black square. This black square is somebody who does the least to gain the very most. And so you're not dealing with them. You have no trust with them. When this person approaches you, you're like, look, I don't trust you. I'm not working with you. You're trying to get away with doing the least to gain the most. And you want to do that off of my suffering, off of my back, off of my labor. And you're not going for it. They no longer have any confidence in the methodology that they've been taught. We've got the 10 of Cups here, a true love, a divine love, and it's a free spirit, excited, limitless potential love. But you have this Knight of Swords here who's wanting to play hero. They're very envious. They're very envious of your ability to take care of yourself. They're reliant on others. They're this devilish energy. They're wanting to come forward and play hero. They're talking about doing a thing to this starseed who doesn't want to have anything to do with them, who's taking the land back. It never belonged to them. It was never a competition. It was always abuse and theft under the guise of love. So those who were bringing conflict are getting sacrificed. They're being released out of the High Priestess's energy and out of her generosity. They have failed. They are feral. They don't have anything good to offer. They can't manage themselves. Their only thing that they do is they go out and they have intimate encounters, and then they hurt people. They break people's hearts, you know, mess with their minds, and then take their stuff. Or they doppelgang them and then put them away in some other facility where they can do whatever they want to with them because they got an agreement with the energy and the soul. So they feel they own it, and they feel they can brutalize it however they want. So there's a swift change happening here with the 8 of Wands energy for those who were betraying and committing fraud and stealing. They got to cancel their party. They're being separated out of the 4 of Wands. They're being separated out of the community. They have to accept the things that they cannot change. They can no longer be here siphoning the happiness out of families and the community in general. We've got an influence here. They have to accept what they cannot change about this new influencer or about the influence in the world. They don't have control over it. They have to surrender their need to control it. You got this devil here that's codependent on the sun, and they're going to be utterly defeated. They have received a 10 of Swords, utter defeat. They have no control. They're very aggressive right now, and they lost their way. They don't have any connection to source. You know exactly what you're going to do. You're disconnecting them. They're out of control. They're just out of control, and they're feral. They can't even control themselves in the environment. They're not here to bring, to bring peace or homeostasis or harmony, because they're such a chaotic mess inside, and they have no idea who they are because they're too busy trying to be somebody else. This could be a bitch. You know exactly what to do here, and this is a real bitch. Whoever this devil is, they're a real bitch. There's knives. Look, there's knives here. Got that choker on with a little ring on it, like in a mask, like it's a, look, privilege. So this is somebody with a life of privilege. They're a real bitch. You know exactly what to do with them. They're being aggressive, and they lost their way. They're being isolated. They've hit rock bottom. The star is here, rejuvenated. You've got a Knight of Wands, a Prince Charming, who is very frustrated here. Emotionally immature, irresponsible, and upset over your new abundant beginning. Yeah, this is a vampire. We've got a freaking vampire here that's upset over your new beginning, your limitless potential. You're an oracle. You're an oracle, and you're being stalked by a cult leader, fashion witch, vampire. You're an oracle unicorn. Maybe they trauma bonded with you, this narcissist. But you're a legend. You're a freaking legend, and you're dealing with this shadow demon here. You're an empath. You know all about this troll, this simp, who's been feeding light-bodied people to this black hole soul as a snack. You know what's going on here. You know about their tinfoil hat conspiracies, about people who have a billionaire status. It's just that they were jealous. And so they did their best to destroy the reputation. And now there's a red flag. There's this danger. People who come in love bombing and gaslighting, talking rumors, talking crap about somebody, trying to distort their image to other people, they're a major red flag. If they're going to talk smack about other people behind their back, they're definitely going to do it to you. They're not a friend. So these two cards were left in the basket there, and it could very well be that somebody is triggered over what's being announced here by the oracle. So the Emperor is here, a father figure. He's stable, he's protective, and he's the authority who has control. He's here with the High Priestess, with the divine feminine, high morals, connected to the hidden mysteries, that sacred wisdom. We've got the King of Swords here, who has mental clarity. That there's people here trying to blame the starseed. He knows who they are, and they're going to have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. History, memory. For all of the history, for whatever they did in the history, the divine masculine or God or, he who has authority, whatever you want to say, has stated that the need for vengeance is in the history. So, the vengeance belongs to the Lord, and, that's just what I heard. So, they're going to have to accept responsibility for their own well-being according to the history of their actions. They're in the King of Swords energy. and knows the truth about everything that they blamed this starseed for. It's all coming back on them. So the challenge is to leave behind those who were bringing conflict based in the truth. They are in fear. They are worried. They're told to get effed. They're hesitating. They don't know what to do. They're listening to whoever it is that's sitting on their shoulder. And they're like, what do I do? What do I say? Should I say that on the floor? Is what somebody was saying. It's like they're being coached as to what to say in court. They're being told what is acceptable to say and what is not. So they're all in a meeting. They're all there. There's questions about, should I say this on the floor? They're not even being authentic or transparent or truthful. They're being given a script and they're going to read it because that's what they've been given permission to say. So there is a celebration that system is in collapse. They're stuck at a crossroads, stuck in the middle, blind to the truth. You have empathy. You're open to seeing both sides of a situation, and they have to give the land back. You know the truth of it. We've got collaboration here, backup. There's a lot of evidences here. A lot of research is going on. You're not just pulling this out of your emotional, these are my emotions, this is how I feel about it, this is my decision. No, you're looking at the history, you're looking at all the maps, you're looking at everything that went down, and you're saying, look, you have to give the land back. You were blind to the truth. You fought people, hurt people, and then took their stuff. There's nothing divine about this. You moved against people who actually cared about themselves and built something for themselves. And then you came in out of envy and you tried to strike them down and take it. And you know the most disgusting thing about it is that you used love and intimate connection to do it. You vilified, you degraded, and soured sacred union. So there's the Two of Cups marriage connection. You're releasing that baggage, moving on. The relationship with these conflict, devilish energies is over. You've got the Seven of Wands energy. You're battle ready, but you're taking the high ground. They can't reach you. You're going to whack them in the head if they even poke their little snout up over the edge. Like that mole. I was talking to my dad the other day. He's got a lot of grass that he loves to tend. And he just really dislikes it when the moles dig holes in his grass. So he actually has a whole game. I mean, he'll hunt moles all day long. And he likes to tell me the details of what he had to do to eliminate one. And it's, I'm not a masculine and I don't hunt anymore. But so to hear him talking about it is kind of disturbing. But, it's what he does. So he doesn't like moles in his grass. He likes his grass to be nice. And it looks to me like there's a whole bunch of moles getting whacked in the head or something. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. They're being told to stay in their own damn lane. They're not welcome here. They cannot show up. They better not even ruffle the soil in the slightest bit on this freaking mountain. On this freaking mountain. Stay off the mountain. This is not your path. This is not your story. You're not welcome there. They're in fear. They're paranoid. They have failed. They don't have any confidence anymore in their love offers because nobody trusts them. They see them for what they are, a black square who does the most to gain the least, and they use love and intimate encounter to do it. They betray and defile people for loving them, and then they steal their stuff. Family. There's a background. There's history here. There's a bond. They're bound to the family that was doing this kind of stuff. They can't get a relationship because nobody trusts them anymore. They see them for what they are, and they're not having anything to do with the black square who does the least for the most under the guise of caring for them. They're bound to that family, whatever. You've got your 10, or maybe this is a new beginning for family. We're not doing that anymore. So we've got the 10 of Cups union, divine love, total love and support, excited and free, limitless potential. You've got a Knight of Swords here who's impatient, wanting to play hero. They're very envious, and they're moving on somebody who cares for themselves because they're disappointed. This is how they care for themselves. This is how they care for themselves. They are envious. So they go in with their sword and they come on strong, and they sleep with somebody, and then they turn around and they leave them alone. Make them sick. They suck the life out of them and the joy and the happiness, and then they leave them alone, disappointed and isolated. And now maybe they are disappointed and isolated from those who care for themselves. There might be a sense of illness or dullness in their life because they're being cut out from your star seed, caring. Those who were committing conflict are being released or sacrificed from the High Priestess's charity. They do not get to pull off the trust fund. They do not take advantage of any of the services she offers. They cannot tap into the divine wisdom because they're a feral thief and they have failed. They're an out of control freaking thief. Very swiftly, those who were betraying and committing fraud and trickery to steal from the family, they'd marry somebody who had stuff, and then they'd get rid of them or replace them with a clone or a doppelganger, somebody that looked alike. And then they would do away with them wherever they'd take them. I don't know, but I don't want to think about it. It was the ultimate betrayal of marriage and sacred union. So they're getting disconnected from it. They're getting separated from it. They don't get to take part in the community. There's no celebration for them. They have to accept the things that they cannot change. We've got an influencer here. They have to accept this influencer. We've got justice in the reverse. They have no logic. They were being very unfair. They were punishing people for loving them so that they could take the role of influencer in the world, so that they could spew out their toxic behaviors as though that's what it was all about. They'd remove the influencer, and now they have to accept the change that they can't, or the things that they cannot change. It could be that there's a punishment coming for what they did to the influencer or what they attempted to do. The devil is here in competition and codependent on the sun. They're in utter defeat. They have betrayed everyone. They've hit rock bottom. They lack control. They have lost. They're being very aggressive. They have no light in them. You can see it very clearly. They don't have connection to source. This is a privileged bitch. And you're relaxed. You're relaxed. Maybe they have to go chill out. They're really upset that you're so at peace. There's nothing they can do to disturb you. You're the star. You've rejuvenated. You've healed. But you have Mr. Charming here who's very frustrated because you have a new beginning and you're a limitless, abundant being. They're a vampire. This vampire, excuse me. This vampire wants to apologize. This is a Knight of Wands vampire who's very frustrated and disappointed, irresponsible, immature. They're a vampire entity, and now they want to apologize. They're very upset over your new beginning and your abundance. You're the gift. This is the end of their gift. Death to the gift. The vampire does not get to enjoy it anymore. Never again. The divine stated, never give it back. You will never give it back. Even if you felt pity for the vampire and wanted to share a little bit of your love and light with them, the divine said, no, you're never going to give it back. It's not up to you. It's not up to you anymore. I mean, if you choose that, then you're going to go into the system that they belong in, you know, if that's where you really want to spend your time. I certainly wouldn't want to give up an Ace of Wands and my limitless capacity to show a vampire who's so sorrowful that I care. No, I'm not going to eat your karma. I'm not going to go travel that path with you. No. Because guess what? You've reached your goals. And those who were coaching others to move against you, those who were obedient to this crooked, deceitful, perverted, debauchery kind of crap, they're being confined. They're losing their freedom. There's a vow. There's a vow. They tried to trap you, and they have been trapped by your vow. Not only your vow with each other, Emperor and High Priestess, Starseed, but with Spirit Divine, with the Most High. And every member of that family, whether it be up or under or to the edges of every universe there is. There's an investigation being done on those who were overindulging on your dime. You have triumphed here, and you're coming into your real estate, your partnership, your marriage, your business. You're the influencer here. And they can't stop you. They've been talking about altering audio, capturing pictures, posting as you, but twisting the message so that they can skew your influence in the world. There's a bully who is undergoing a lot of loss. They should be embarrassed. You're having sweet dreams. You love yourself. You create beauty wherever you are. And these ones are in danger. They used religion and prayer to cause you accident and injury. So now they're being cast away. And they have to go deal with the supernatural disturbances that they've been pouring into the world. If they want a world of violence they shall have. And apparently there's a whole universe out there that's going to get treated much the same as they've been treating people. These vampires are going to get a taste of their own medicine. They have been stopped siphoning high value people, high value entities, high value. They can't take your stuff. They can't destroy your happiness. They can't do that. You and your friends and whoever has been working with you, your team, is coming into your reward here. Because of the way you dealt with this dominator. And it could very well be that you're in control now. You're a good moral human. You have a lot of vital force. You've got a new family tree with another sweetheart, a sweet love. These ones want to compromise now. They're going blind. They cannot see. They're losing their sight. They're losing their gifts. They're losing their voice. There's preparations being made, arrangements being made. You persevered here through all of that, and you have inner peace. These third-party enemies were mind-reading people, going in, busting up this beautiful love or the potentiality of it, and they were binding people. People that were committed to each other, they were going in as a third party to destroy the union. They thought it was a great idea to cause natural disaster for others wearing masks as them. polluting, degrading, defiling, destroying. And now they're frightened. They're frightened because they have been rejected by eternal love. There's no love in them. Eternal love has rejected them. Live and learn. It's a schedule. Now they have a schedule. They got to go live and learn. They were bribed by your fate. They were using occult wisdom or tarot readings or other psychic readings to try to hurt people. They were bribed. They took the bait and they went out and used tarot and other divination tools to try to destroy people, to try to make them sick, to try to mess with their minds through magic. They would use tarot on people, and then if they saw anything good, they would go in there and do magic on them to destroy it. That was what they were getting paid to do, to mess with people's minds, to run insanity through the minds of sweethearts. But you're okay. You're the blessing. You're stable. And you're getting a promise of marriage. You have a promise of marriage. In the recent past, you've got your Two of Cups marriage connection. And you're releasing all this baggage. You're releasing this prideful, egotistical person and people. You're worth saving. This family who cares about each other are worth saving from this conflict. And they're protesting. They're protesting because this is the conclusion of their mind effery. They can no longer daydream about being you. There's a heavy consequence for catfishing people now, I guess. Like big time, heavy duty consequences. This isn't just a slap on the wrist, don't do it again. This is you are forever altering your fate by choosing not to be yourself, by choosing to dress up as somebody else and try to destroy their character through false means. Especially if you're moving against your brother or your sister. That is a tragedy against family. They're stubborn here. They're getting nutty in the head. They're overloaded, overwhelmed by all the work that they did against you. You have gotten aid by your alliances. They're very trustworthy. And these ones are being separated here. They're being separated. They don't get to take part in the miracle that you have received. And they're in a nightmare here. They're in a state of darkness. And they curse themselves. They're having catastrophe after freaking catastrophe. And they called it upon themselves. This is the stuff that they've been putting into the world. And the Most High Divine is saying, okay, this is your work. And this is your reward. This is your reward for your effort. And it's coming back on them. All these nightmares, all these curses, all that fury. Madness, I tell you. Madness. Madness. You know, some people burn a little tiny leaf or whatever of sage. I just don't know why. They limit themselves. It's such a good herb. I love it. I love it. It makes the energy in my home so much better. So yeah, somebody's in despair. Somebody is in a lot of despair over your joy, your love, and your new lover or your lover who's very consistent with you. The Emperor and the High Priestess are together and they have mental clarity over who is blaming the starseed in the history. This is logical. This is not emotional. This is based in divine wisdom and truth and clarity. High Priestess, Emperor, they've got vision. They've got vision. They're connected to Source Divine. They can see clearly. The Servant. The Servant, and what they've done to blame this starseed in the history. So the challenge is to leave them behind, those who were committing conflict and clashing, territorial, petty ego crap. You know the truth of it here. You absolutely know the truth. And they're in fear. They're worried. They're told to get effed. They're confused. They're hesitating. They don't know what to do. They've got two people sitting on one shoulder each, and they're all giving them suggestions, and they don't know what to do here. They're in despair. They're in despair. There's a community happiness here because this old system is collapsing. They were blind to the truth. They're stuck in the middle. They don't know what to do. You have empathy here. You can see the truth about both sides. They have to give the land back. We've got collaboration here. You're doing a lot of research. There's a lot of surprises going on. It could be that those who collaborated against you are surprised. Two of Cups, marriage connection, releasing the baggage, moving on, taking the high road. They cannot come there with you. All things are happening in divine order. They're told to stay in their lane. You're the king or that queen of that highest heavenly mountain, and you can see them coming from a mile away, and they better just stay away. You know who they are. You know their modus operandi, and they're out of it. Look, now they're like, they need consolation. They're praying about it. Why are they praying? Because they're in fear. Because their brutality didn't stop you. Nobody trusts the young love. Oh, I'm spiritual. This black square who does the very least to gain the very most. We've got family here. What's going on with this family? Friend. Friends and family. Friends and family don't trust this Page of Cups. The friends and the family don't trust these youngers who are going out, sleeping around, trying to gain profit. They're not trustworthy. They're seen for who they are. Friends and family don't trust this Page of Cups. Spiritual crush, relationship seeker. You got the 10 of Cups here. Divine, total love and support. You know there's limitless potential, excitement and freedom, but you've got a Knight of Swords that's impatient and wanted to play hero. They're envious of this person who takes care of themselves, and they're sick. They're disappointed about this wedding. You're leaving them behind. They're sick. They're disappointed. They're in isolation. You take care of yourself, and you made it through these damaging circumstances, and you've been beaten and hurt a lot in a great magnitude, but still you take care of yourself to the best of your ability. And these ones certainly will try to say that you're full of debauchery or that you're addicted or that whatever, man. But they're the ones actually going out and hurting people and defiling innocence, calling themselves regal. So those who are bringing conflict are getting sacrificed or released out of the High Priestess's energy and her intuitive connections. Her generosity and her charity are stopping for them. They have failed. There are feral and they're thieves. And they're going to the merchant. They're the new, they have to go work it off. They got to go get a job. They got to work it off. I think these ones are the new indentured servants. They're the new slave. They're the new fodder. They're whatever. Whatever they tried to drum up for you, Starseed, whatever they've been doing to the innocence and purity is going to be done to them. Yeah. And I didn't say anything about, I heard the nefarious ones discussing amongst each other how they were going to be torturing people in that universe. Whatever, it's wherever this merchant is taking the feral ones, the feral thieves, the little F-boys and F-girls that use love to hurt people. Enemies. Enemies. Very quickly, those who committed fraud are getting separated out of the community. They got to cancel their party. They don't get to take part in any Four of Wands unions anymore. There's a punishment here. We've got justice in the reverse. What they did was very unfair. And there's no jail time. There's just straight out punishment. They have to accept this influencer. This enemy has to accept this new influencer. They have to let them live their life. Let them fulfill their purpose. They're here for a specific reason, and they gotta release their need to control it. They're going to be punished for trying to delay the purpose of people who are here to bring heaven to earth. They want to continue in their debaucherous ways while projecting out their bitchy, nasty, envious attitudes onto good people who care about themselves and want to have a family and a child and a friendship and a community that is trustworthy, you know? The devil is codependent on the sun, and they are utterly defeated. They have no control. They have lost. They are aggressive. They've lost their way. They have no light in them. They are isolated. They don't have any connections to Source Creator. This is a bitch who has a life of privilege, and they're so upset that you are relaxed, that you are at peace. It could be your peace that caused this extreme ending for them. You're a sweetheart, and you're relaxed. And you've got this bitchy, privileged person in this devilish energy who is in a 10 of swords. They're gonna hit rock bottom. They're gonna be twisted and turned in all ways. The sun knows exactly what to do with this privileged bitch who's moving against this peaceful sweetheart. The star is rejuvenating, and you've got this Knight of Wands. Little Mr. Charming is upset. They're immature, they're irresponsible, they're frustrated about your new beginning and your abundance. They're a vampire. They want to apologize. Look, they want to be friends now. They no longer want to be your foe. But that's death. There's death. The only reason they want to be friends now is because there's death right on their heels. And they're sick. They're going on a journey. They're going to make their journey. There's death here. So the vampire wants to apologize. They want to be friends now. They no longer wish to be your enemy. They're upset about your new beginning and your abundance here. But they're very irresponsible and immature. And they're just not nice. They're absolutely not nice. They're a feral thief who's failed to move against this High Priestess. And the High Priestess has the Emperor here right now, and they're being told to get effed. This is a freaking starseed. There could actually be a wedding in a 3D soon, in the near future. And this Knight of Swords might try to play hero and do some bullpucky at the celebration. Yeah, the thief is in service to this priest. And they're having a misfortune in the room. The room for me means mind. They could be having a misfortune in their mind. They could be in a mental prison. So what? They're hopeful, but there's a messenger of hope. They were hoping for a messenger of hope, but now they're a widower, or maybe they're getting the messenger. They were making hopeful people, people who were hoping that their marriage would work out, they were unalive. This is a professional widower who did that with consistency, whatever. The lover now has a new love that's going to bring them happiness. There's thoughts of happiness. There's conversation about the fortune, and the fortune doesn't necessarily have to be money. You know, some people wear their wealth on the inside, and some people dress up in it with fancy fabrics. You know, in the Bible it says that the kingdom of heaven is within you. So you could take, you know, the homeless person on the street loving on their dog, and they may have a rich kingdom of heaven inside of them while looking like a peasant or a pauper or somebody, you know, without anything. And you know that it is those with the brightest lights that get attacked and brutalized the most. So it's very wise not to cast judgment. Somebody's sad about your house. These pleasure seekers are sad about your house. They could be experiencing a lot of sorrow. Young woman reunited as wife and gift, earned her wings and coming into money. Yeah, so there's going to be an age regression thing here. There's a soldier waiting on a prideful old woman. They're upset or sad about the lies, about the falseness, the innocent child, the innocent ones, what they did to the innocent children. The Lord is here, man, sending them a message. They're getting sick. Whoever the scholar is getting sick. They're sick because you're faithful, kind and true. The Lord is faithful, kind and true. And you know, they're sick over it. They're going to be sick over it. Oh yeah, what they did was wrong. They can't deny it. They never thought that this day was going to come. You know, they thought they've been getting away with it for centuries, and they really thought that that's the way it was going to go. Forever. But it appears as though their pride outweighed their knowledge. So we got the Emperor here connected to the High Priestess. They know the truth about those who were trying to blame the starseed for what they did as a servant in the history. Gaslighting, deliberately manipulating people's perceptions of the reality regarding this starseed High Priestess. They were a servant. They did it on purpose, and now they have to accept responsibility for what they've done. The challenge is leaving behind those who are creating conflict. You know the truth of it. You've got the Ace of Swords here. They're told to get effed. They're very worried about it, and they're in fear. They're hesitating. They don't know what to do. They're in despair because they're a dishonest one. They're a liar. They're a liar, cheater, scammer, thief. They know what they are. They know what they've done. Now they know who they've done it to. They don't know what to do. They made a career out of hurting you. The community is happy because all of this is collapsing. They're at a crossroads. You're open to seeing both sides of a situation. You're taking the land back. Those who collaborated against you, it could be that you have a team of people here that are uncovering many surprises, like many things that were hidden in the water, hidden, you know, many hidden or lost or whatever, suppressed documentation. You're uncovering it all. You can see both sides of a situation clearly. Look, we've got people out here wanting to apologize. You still haven't gotten over what happened, and you would appreciate an apology. And even if they give you an apology, it probably won't be sincere. It's just going to be that they're upset that things are changing for them. And they're sorry for themselves. not for what they've done. So, Two of Cups unions are here. Marriage connection, releasing the baggage, moving on. You taking the high road. They cannot reach you. Everything happens in divine order. You're the king and queen of that highest heavenly mountain. You are going on an adventure. You can see everything. These people are being told to stay in their own lane. They're praying. They're seeking consolation. But they're not being met with empathy. Nobody cares how they feel right now, because they are so extremely nasty. They're in fear, having anxiety. They could be having dreams, paranoid dreams of premonition. They failed. Their confidence is down. They're feeling overwhelmed. Nobody trusts young love or innocent love proposals, because nobody's willing to deal with a black square that does the least to gain the most. Nobody believes these guys' love offers anymore. This friend of the family could be a friend of the family that's trying to make a love offer. You don't trust them. You're not dealing with them. You see them for who they are. And entertainment. This guy or gal, whatever you want to say, they were entertained by this program, this passion project, whatever it is. Ten of Cups, divine love, total love and support. You've got excitement and freedom here, and limitless potential. There's a Knight of Swords who wants to play hero. They're very envious. There is a wedding for those who take care of self, who manage themselves, and they're disappointed. They're being isolated out, and they're coming in. They want a small favor. They need permission to get in the energy. Any kind of permission to get in the energy. This competition is being let go. They're being sacrificed out of the energy and the gifts of the High Priestess and her charity, her goodwill. They have failed to move against her. They are seen to be feral, out of control thieves, and they're going to the merchant, taking a trip. They're going right out of here. Their new life is going to be one subjected to some sort of slavery. They're the new servant. They've shown themselves to be a servant here, manipulating and gaslighting the perception of reality regarding this star seed. So now, because they're a servant of whoever this devil is, they get to go to this merchant and be a servant. They actually get to go be a servant now for all the dirty deeds that they've done. So very swiftly, those who were thieving and committing trickery and fraud, we've got justice in the reverse. There's a punishment here. They're getting cut out of the Four of Wands. They do not get to take part in the celebration or the marriage. They do not get to reside within the community. They have to accept the influencer's position in this world. They're here for a reason, and they're an enemy. They're a freaking enemy, and they need your support. The enemy needs your support, and you're like, no, they can't be there. The devil is codependent on the sun and their energy and what they provide here. See, they've been working the light-bearing people for on a 9 to 5 or a 12-hour shift or double back 8s or whatever the heck for centuries here. You've been the producer of stuff, while these feral thieves have been taking everything from you with no moral, ethical boundaries whatsoever. It's just a privileged bitch. So, yeah, they're in a Ten of Swords energy here. They've hit rock bottom. They're suffering a betrayal. People may be turning on them, testifying on them. They're experiencing utter defeat. They have no control. They have lost. They're very aggressive right now. They have no light on in them. You can see it very clearly. This is a privileged bitch who is upset with this sweetheart and her peace. And there's no interest here. Like, she's focusing on her own life. She doesn't give two shits about this privileged bitch. Get out of my light. She's uninterested in the yelling or the need for a favor or those who are speaking so negatively, trying to sabotage her, bring her chaos and tricks. You know, these are their plans when they're wanting to check in. This tribe's trying to reconnect here. They're acting positive and friendly, but there's a lot of stuff going through the grapevine that this envious person is uncertain of. They want to apologize. They want you to be a safe space, you know. They're very hostile about love, though. They're very greedy with what love gains, and they have no love in them, so they need what love provides, and the only thing they have to offer is lust. That's it. You don't want to deal with that. You know what they are. We got a career here. So you've got rejuvenation. There is this knight who's immature and irresponsible. They're very upset over your new beginning, your new abundant, limitless beginning. This is a vampire who's trying to apologize. I don't want to be enemies anymore. But there's death here. There's like death. You're not dealing with them at all. They are sick. They're in despair, they're going to the doctor, and they're making a journey. They're sick, there's something going on with them for what they did to you. The career, this was a career thing. This was what their whole life revolved around. Vampiring other people, and it's over. They can no longer come after you. That's bad news now. Bad news. They were told to seek advice. They said, seek wise counsel, your savior did not save you. So I don't know what they got going on with that, but there's something going on with that. Wow. Well, this is a pretty long reading, but I'm just going to leave it there then. I hope that this brings some clarity to something that you may have already intuitively knew, and I will see you on the next read, everybody.